Last week, I interviewed Lynn from L&J Goods. Many of you may know her from her YouTube channel, her lives on Facebook, and her overall amazing projects that she creates. We'll dive into juggling all the things and her journey as a small business owner. She gives lots of tips and tricks for anyone starting out or in the thick of their small business journey. So definitely go and listen to that one, guys. Now, are you looking for a group of like minded individuals to support and encourage your small business journey? In this week's episode, I'll be discussing my Creative Network membership group. I've had so many questions about my membership group, and since I'll be opening it up again in September, I wanted to answer all those questions and explain what the membership group offers. If you want to know if it's going to be a good fit, then stick around and I'm going to give you all the details.
Welcome to the Rescued and Upcycled podcast with weekly inspiration, tips on trying new techniques, and overall real talk about owning your own DIY business. Now here's your host, Sonnet Ullenbrook.
Welcome back to Rescued and Upcycled. I'm your host, Sonnet Ullenbrook. I want to thank you all for joining me on my podcast. Now, this is episode 24. And wow, I just have to say, just wow, guys. Crazy how time flies when you're having fun. Episode 24. I cannot believe episode 25 will be just right around the corner. I never thought in a million years that I would be at this point. Now, in today's episode, I am going to be discussing the power of a membership group. I am so proud of the group and the community that I've created, and I want to share with you all the details of the group. And by the end of this podcast, you guys are going to know if a membership group is right for you. Now, if you listen to any of my past podcasts, one of them that I talked about was creating income streams. And I started creating my membership group not because I wanted to create an income stream, but because there was a need. This was definitely done because of you, my listeners and viewers. I was receiving so many emails with questions about how I was doing this and how I was doing that. What do you recommend here? Or emails about issues and concerns and feeling like they were on this small business journey alone. And I started thinking, and I'm like, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I feel like I am a solopreneur here on an island all by myself. And honestly, I didn't have enough time in a day to answer every single one of these emails. I tried to keep up and I tried to be kind and give as much advice as I possibly could. And that was when I really started to brainstorm some ideas like, maybe how could I help these individuals like in a group setting? And the first thing I decided is I wanted to create a community of like minded individuals that would be there for each other to support and encourage each other. I myself wanted a community that I could gravitate towards. I didn't have that, when I started my small business journey, and I didn't have it at that point. And being a solopreneur, you guys, it's lonely and it's hard, both. And there are times that I would want to reach out to somebody and bounce ideas or concerns off of. And don't get me wrong, my husband, my parents, they're great, but they don't really get it. Even though my parents too have their own small business, as being online and having a YouTube channel and just all the things, uh, th- they are so kind to listen to me, but they weren't getting it. They would have answers, and I was not. It's not that I didn't want to listen to their answers, but I really wanted to bounce the ideas of somebody that was living my life, and I felt like there were so many people out there feeling the exact same way. So I find so many times there is so much competition out there, or people feel competitive. And honestly, there's so much love to go around. And I can talk about this till I'm blue in the face. And there are going to be some creators, some small business owners that don't see things the way I do. I feel like we can support each other and encourage each other and help each other out, and be supportive of each other, because again, there is so much love out there. You are going to find your people and they are going to support you. Whether you're supporting another small business owner, you're not going to lose that business, guys. You can help another person or another creative and not feel like you're going to lose. So, I wanted to, like I said, create a community where we as small business owners don't treat each other as competitors, but as friends. And we shouldn't be afraid to help another business out. Because honestly, we are going to continue to grow. And competition, it's good in any industry. If you think about it, having competition makes you a better small business owner. And I always think about that. I'm like, these people are not my competitors. They are my friends, and I want to help them out. And as long as you, as a small business owner, are truly serving your customers like you should be, the competition shouldn't matter. Now, in my community, I also wanted to offer weekly Zoom meetings where we as a group could get together and learn together. I've never proclaimed ever in my life to be an expert in any area of business. I am constantly learning with all of my members. Have I had life experiences that I can offer up? Absolutely. I can tell you what not to do, what I would encourage you to do, but again, I am no expert because I am continually learning in my small business. And if somebody does try to portray that they are an expert in all the things, well, then I have to call them out on that, because there is no way that you are an expert in every single area. You could be an expert in one little specific area, but think about it. We are always constantly learning from each other, and we have to be open and know that we just don't know everything. So, what I love about this group is that there are members in the group who have a ton of knowledge and are willing to share the knowledge as well. The group every month, you guys, decides. We sit down at the end of one of our meetings and we brainstorm about what we want to cover in like the next month or two. And then we come up with different topics based on that brainstorming session. And, we cover topics that we all as a group want to discuss. So if one person wants to cover one specific thing, we kind of put that on a possible list in the future, but we set the meetings for the next few months. And honestly, no matter what we set, not every meeting will be for everyone, and attending is optional. So there is always that replay. But what I would encourage is that you come and have an open mind. Maybe the specific topic is not going to apply to you at that moment, but maybe in the future it would. So don't always have blinders on thinking, oh, I am never going to have a YouTube channel. So there is no reason I need to attend these meetings. Maybe you don't want a YouTube channel now. Maybe that is never a thought, but you could learn about YouTube. You could learn about video production. Think about what you could possibly take from it, and then think about maybe in the future. Maybe right now is not a good time for me, but possibly in the future. Or maybe by attending that meeting, you'll be inspired to think, wow, I never in a million years thought I wanted to have a YouTube channel, but now after being here and seeing what it could do and offer my small business, I want to have a YouTube channel. So I always just encourage all the members, have an open mind, still attend even if you don't think it's something that you want to do, because honestly, something in that meeting, something somebody says, or, like the topic, it can just totally change the trajectory of your small business. So, I always encourage that. The one thing I always say as well is what you put into the group is what you're going to get out. If you sign up for the membership and you never attend, but just try to watch the replays here and there, you will never feel a connection to the group. You will get very little out of the group because the group itself, it's not only the topics that we cover and watching the replays, it's about the connections that you have with the other members. It's about taking the time to create those friendships and the bonds, being part of this amazing community, laughing, crying, supporting each other. And you may think crying, yes, there have been meetings where a member has broke down crying and we come together as a group and we support, encourage, and uplift that individual because it is not always sunshine and rainbows in a small business. There are ups and downs. And wouldn't you love to have the backing of all the members in the group to help encourage you and lift you up and give you that those words of needed encouragement? And that's what we do in the membership group. Ask questions, vent about issues, and just really feel the love and support from other small business owners who are walking in that same similar path. With that all said, though, the other thing you have to remember is we are all at different points in our small business journey. Never, ever compare yourself to another small business or to another person in your group because each of our small business journeys are completely different. This is your journey, no one else's. You might want to be where somebody else is, but it's just not your time. So you have to remember that. Like you may want to be where Debbie is at this point, but you need to create your own path. You need to experience different things to get to that point. And this has been hard for some of the members, but I keep reminding them you're going to get there. You just can't do it all at once. Just take it step by step and don't rush it. Experience, you have to experience different things and learn different things and have that knowledge to move forward in your small business. One thing, too, that I always do at the beginning of every year is we start creating goals. What we start with is we always pick a meeting, and before we start off planning goals for the next year, we take a look back at the previous year. And first and foremost, we celebrate, you guys. We celebrate our accomplishments, whether they're big, they're small. They're still accomplishments from that previous year that you've tackled and accomplished. And by writing down your goals and doing quarterly check ins, this really helps you stay on track, see what you need to focus on during the year. And at the end of the year, it's a great recap. This really helps us all see where you started and what you've accomplished. So, like keep that in mind. Just make sure that you write these all down. Whether you're not even in a membership group, you should be doing this. You should be setting goals, you guys, because, you could just be like, la, 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 la. I'm just going along in my small business. I don't know what I want to do. By writing them down, it holds you accountable. It also makes you realize okay, by mid-year, I want to try to do this. I want to try to do that. Then it makes you think, how am I going to get there? What do I need to do to get to that goal? So you may want to be where Debbie is, but if you don't set goals, you don't know how Debbie got there. So, keep that in mind. And then always a new year feels like a clean slate. Do you feel like that too? I feel like after January 1, ding, oh, it's a brand new clean slate. It's for everything. I feel like even at the end of the month, I start a new month. Okay, it's a clean slate. It always feels like you're starting over, a fresh start. And that's kind of how January 1st feels when I'm goal setting. And I think starting off the year with a fresh set of goals feels very doable. You have 12 full months to accomplish these goals that you've set. To help accomplish the goals, each week we do cover different topics. We do deep dives into specific areas. We create challenges. We have good heart to heart discussions. And this may vary, like I said, depending on what we talk about at the end of like a meeting to set the next, like 5 to 8 meetings. A great example of this, though, you guys, this past year, many of my members wanted to create a YouTube channel. Now, some of the members never wanted to have a YouTube channel. And I decided rather than to tackle this all in one meeting, which would be extremely overwhelming, I broke down how to create a YouTube channel in 7 yeah, we did 7, sessions. So we started in January. We took 1 meeting and we covered a topic. Then you had an entire month to apply that topic. Then we went into February and we did the same thing, and we did that all the way till July. And at the end of July, everybody had the knowledge to create their own YouTube channel and to create videos. And it was like, I just felt like, okay, now I'm going to push them out of the nest and see what they do. And honestly, you guys, at the end of that session, I felt so good. I'm like, okay, I feel like I've given them all the ammunition that they need to do this. And then we set up a September challenge. So by September, I gave them a date, September 12th. They had to create a YouTube video to be part of a playlist. And they were so excited. And long story short, many of them decided on their own that they wanted to create a pre-video just to see how they did. And I remember I was up north and I started receiving messages. I created my first video. I created my first video. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am like, I just felt so like an overwhelming, just my heart felt so full, you guys, because I was so proud of them. So there's 16 individuals that are part of this September challenge. I would say out of the 16, maybe about half have already actually uploaded their very first video, and they are so excited to be part of this playlist. Now, for the members that decided not to partake in the challenge, many of them just felt like they didn't have the time to do it, but they all attended the sessions. Many of them did. Many of them just want to use the skills to just create videos, and several just don't want a YouTube channel at this point. So it was not a lost cause for the rest of them or like a lost topic. They still took stuff out of each and every one of these training sessions. So keep that in mind too. Even ones that have YouTube channels, they now have additional knowledge that when we went over like the back end of YouTube that they didn't know about, they felt like they got tips for creating better videos, editing skills, all of that. So it was an amazing first 7 months of the year and just to see what they accomplished with this one specific challenge. Now, this, keep in mind, like I said, I broke it down into 7 training sessions. And again, like if we would have done it all in January, it could have felt very daunting and overwhelming. And that's why I wanted to break it down, intermix some of these other topics that we like to cover in between. Last year, you guys, we did a Reels challenge, and that many of them did feel like I broke them because I pushed them out of their comfort zone and I tried to encourage them to do something that they never thought they would do. Many of them learned new editing software programs. They just went above and beyond. And I was so impressed with that group with the Reels challenge. And as a thank you, for completing the challenge, I did have a little surprise for them, and each of them got a gift at the end if they completed it. So there's fun like challenges like that. But I think I looking back, there is one member that stands out amongst many because Kristen, a member of her business is Simply Joy Creations by Kristen. She was with me from the very beginning, you guys. So when I first had this like thought, it was just like a thought in my brain, and I put it out on Facebook like, I want to get a group of people together. I want to toss about an idea and I want your feedback. She was in that first session. She gave me a ton of feedback, and then I launched my membership group, and I was so happily surprised when she signed up. And when we did our first introductions, she's like, "I just joined this community for a community of creatives. I don't have a booth. I don't have like a small business at this point, but it's something that I might be interested in. I just felt so compelled to support and encourage use on it." And I was like, I just felt so touched by this. And within a very short period of time, Kristen got her very first bookshelf. And she was at an antique mall and she was able to get this bookshelf. And she had been creating all these amazing pieces. And she's very well known for her mixed media and her vintage vibe. And so it was so cute how she, created these little vignettes on each of these bookshelves. And I was so proud of her. I'm like, you started the membership not even having a small business, and now you have a bookshelf. Within, I would say, another month, she went from a bookshelf, you guys, to a full blown booth. She started doing vendor events. And honestly, my heart was full just watching her, all this growth of her small business. And now she has her own she's now a stockist for Connie Lines and Designs, and, she's just growing her business, and to see that growth is just amazing, and she came into the group trying to support and encourage me on my vision of what I wanted for the membership because she felt so passionately about that, to then having me help her grow her small business and just seeing her growth. And when she first came into the group, I gave her so much support and encouragement because honestly, you guys, she didn't have I guess a good way is like to say I just felt like she didn't think she was good enough, and she is amazing, you guys. And I am so glad that, she started off not even talking in the beginning really to now giving so much to our membership group. And I love Kristen, and I consider her one of my very best friends. And to think if I would never have started this membership, I would never have met her and all these amazing people in my membership group. So, honestly, this group has brought so much joy to my life, and the community alone is absolutely amazing. But watching all these ladies grow and helping them, out, step by step, and really getting them out of their comfort zone, in seeing what they can accomplish. And I guess many of them too, they say that I push them or I toss them out of their comfort zone. I don't just, like slightly nudge. And it just makes my heart so happy when I see the growth of their small businesses. So, in our creative network, you can find the tools and support to just become a better small business owner. Really surround yourself with a community of like minded individuals who are on a similar journey as you. If owning and operating a small business, or like a vendor booth has been something that you've always dreamed of doing, or you're currently, you have a small business and a vendor booth and are struggling, this is the community for you. Don't feel like you don't have to feel that you are doing this alone. Or if you have questions about managing your business, then this is the community that you can come and join because we have the answers here, you guys. We love to support and encourage and take our experiences and help you out. Running a small business is a continuous learning journey, and having others doing it with you makes it so much easier. So each month, like I said, we tackle different topics, and then you get to apply those topics to your small business. You get to test them out, see how they work, come back, ask more questions. And with the community that we are creating, we'll be cheering you on each and every step of the way, and we are building a tool of like a library of tools for you. So if there is a topic, I have all the Zoom calls there for you, and you can watch a past topic and then come back and ask questions because that's what we're here for. So the membership does include monthly topics, like I talked about. We do monthly member heart to hearts, or we try to do them every month, depending on how things go. We do have our creative community network. It's a tight knit community of like minded individuals that love to support each other. We have our discussion board. So if you need immediate answers, you can post your question out there or post a picture, and everybody's there to answer. I do weekly check-ins. So each week we check in on all the things that we're tackling. So during our membership meetings, I talk about like, where are you guys here? How are things going there? So I check in with each and every one of you every single week. We do seasonal challenges or yearly challenges, and we like to do monthly DIY projects. So one thing that I love to do is I love to continue to, like boost our business and talk all things business, but I also like to slow things down and go back to the basics of being creative because that is, like where I started. I love creating. And for instance, in my membership group last night, Connie from the Painted Photographer, she gave a list of supplies and she taught us how to paint churches. Kristen has come to the membership group and taught us how to do mixed media. And it is just sometimes we just need to fill our creative cup. So that is something we also do. Now, a few questions you may need to ask yourself to know if a membership group, whether it's our membership group or somebody else's, are you an entrepreneur, a DIYer, a maker? Do you have a small business, a vendor booth? Or do you want to open a vendor booth and you just don't know where to start, or you're feeling like lost? Are you looking for help and support from a community that understands what you're going through? Do you ever feel alone as a small business owner and want to feel connected to others on that same journey? Do you ever feel overwhelmed, unfocused because you're juggling too many balls? If you have said yes to any of these questions, well, friends, you have found your place right here with our creative network. And honestly, we cover all of those things every single month, or every week, I should say. So we meet every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Central Time. And typically the meetings last from like an hour to 2 hours, sometimes a little bit over, depending on, what topics come up. But I would love to see you be part of the Creative Network. And I am opening up on the membership on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. So I believe it's September 3rd. I probably should have wrote that down before I went live. But um, Yeah, so it's that Tuesday. I will leave it open for 1 full week. What I do is I open up my membership just twice a year. So, it will be in September and then it will be in another 6 months. And the reason I do that is because I want to get new members in the group. I want them to get acclimated and feel a part of the group. I don't want people like I don't want a swinging door open and closing constantly. And it is month to month or you can do a yearly you can pay for the membership over a year. So it is like you join the membership, you've been here for a couple months, it's not feeling like either it's not a good fit for you or you don't have time. You can leave at any point, but we have the core members here have mostly been here from the beginning, you guys. So I'd love for you guys to join us and take your business to that next level. So I just wanted to, I hope I've encouraged you a little bit, even if you don't, aren't going to join my membership group. Maybe there's a membership group out there for you that will be perfect. So keep that in mind. Try to surround yourself with like minded individuals that are going to encourage and support you. You don't want to be with, hanging out with some negative Nellies because I do not tolerate that in my group. We want to always leave on an upbeat, positive note, and we want to support and encourage every single individual in the membership group. So, that's a wrap for this week. In next week episode, you guys, I am going to be interviewing Teresa from Our Green Acres. And you guys may know Teresa from her YouTube channel where she creates weekly DIY tutorials. Her channel has honestly been so successful. She just hit 100K, and I can't wait to chat about her success. And you guys, I absolutely love her style, and I know you guys are going to love it too. So, if you are watching on any of the, or actually, I should say, if you are listening on any of the podcast platforms, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss out on an episode. And if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, I have now created a separate channel for my Rescued and Upcycled podcast. It was part of my main Sonnet's Garden Blooms channel, and it was definitely affecting my channel. So I put it on a separate channel and definitely give that channel some love, you guys. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up if you're liking the episodes, and let me know in the comments what you're thinking about the podcast, any topics that you'd love for me to talk about, or creatives that you'd love for me to interview. I want to hear about it. Now, you can also find me on all the other social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram. I post a lot more content over there, but I do hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Bye, guys.